Streets of Wonder is now live in Mythic Plus. Today I'm going to take you through the dungeon and give you some tips and tricks to help you defeat its dangerous denizens. Let's get into it, and right at the start of the dungeon, there are a few dangerous abilities you should look out for. Custom Security will throw disruption grenades at players that create a swirly effect on the ground which explodes after a few seconds, dealing damage and knocking back. Armored Overseers will create beam splicers that slowly rotate and apply a nasty dot if they hit you. It's a good idea to move the fight away from these dangerous beams, but you can also jump over them unharmed for extra style points. To fight the first boss, you'll first need to take down Portalmancer Zani. Zo'phex will then emerge. During the fight, he'll apply rotary body armor that will prevent all damage from the direction it's facing. This slowly rotates, so depending on your group, you can either move the boss so that this is never pointed at your damage dealers, or the damage dealers can reposition themselves. This is complicated by the dangerous spinning blades that the boss throws on the floor, and the confiscated weapons that players will need to pick up in order to continue using their abilities. The boss will also target players for interrogation. Whoever is picked needs to run far away, and then the rest of the group should break them out of the containment cell when it appears. Make sure not to be directly in front of the boss during this mechanic, and be sure to break the cell before the boss reaches the target. After Zo'phex goes down, you have a choice about where to head next, and you can do the next 3 bosses in whichever order you like. You can head left and face a gauntlet of some of WoW's most iconic and dangerous enemies, such as Corehounds, the cats from Darkheart Thicket, and the dinosaurs from Atal'Dazar. If your group has a lot of single target damage, this trash can be an efficient choice. But if you're more specialized in area of effect damage, you can instead head right and take on large packs of cartel enemies. Watch out, as this path includes stealthed cartel skulkers who will ambush you. This path leads naturally to Mythic Oasis, which you can enter by trading items in the bazaar outside. One player will need to take the item to the correct dealer before receiving the next item, and repeating the process until one dealer offers the password, while the rest of the group should protect that player from the waves of enemies that spawn. Mythic Oasis is a musical encounter, where one player hops on drums and 4 players pick up real instruments. Whoever's on drums will be rooted in place, so it's best to put a ranged player in this role, often your healer, unless they're a Mistweaver or a Holy Paladin, since those healers like to be in melee range. After Mythic Oasis, you can quickly make your way to the P.O.S.T Master. This room has some dangerous enemies, including defective sorters that will try to open nearby cages and release dangerous creatures. If you can stun them during their open cage cast, these pulls will be a lot less dangerous. During the P.O.S.T Master fight, you can catch the hazardous liquids, take a small hit of magic damage, but prevent the ground from being polluted. Run away from the fan mail whirlwind and either group soak or immune the money order. The core mechanic of this fight is unstable goods, which will arrive and need to be thrown into the active delivery portal before their timer is up, or they'll explode for serious group-wide damage. Carrying these goods slows you, but you can throw them to other group members to help cover the distance more quickly. Just make sure not to miss, as they will explode if you throw them and they aren't caught by either a player or the active portal. Several of Tazavesh's most dangerous enemies are found in the market between the P.O.S.T Master and the Grand Menagerie, so it's a good idea to get as much of your enemy forces count as possible from the other areas of the dungeon instead. If you do fight here, make sure not to run into the fences, as they will stun you. The Grand Menagerie encounter takes a while to get started, so you can send someone ahead or take the previous pull into this room to speed things up a bit. This fight ramps up in difficulty as more mechanics get added. At first you'll fight Alkrooks alone, and will need to only worry about dodging the ground effects from Grip of Hunger and Grand Consumption. One player will be affected by Gluttony, which will deal damage to anyone else that gets too close to them, and it will jump to the nearest player when it expires. Once Acolyte arrives, the player with Gluttony can safely eat the orbs created by Venting Protocol to gain a damage buff. Anyone else will instead take heavy damage. This boss will also attempt to murder your tank with Flagellation Protocol several times throughout the encounter. Once you break through the boss's damage shield, interrupt it to stop the damage on your tank. When Acolyte goes down, its body will remain and will continue to expel anima for the rest of the fight. Venza Goldfuse is the last boss of this encounter and forces you to run away from the Whirling Annihilation casts and break players out of the Chains of Domination. These chains can also be removed with any effect that breaks roots or immunities. After the Grand Menagerie, all that's left is Soasmi, whose elevator is guarded by Commander Zophar. Watch out for this mini-boss's knockback ability, Power Kick, and the Lethal Force mechanic, which links two players and drags them together. They need to run away from each other to avoid very heavy damage if they do make contact. So Asmi is the final boss of Streets of Wonder and is all about using portals to navigate around an increasingly divided room. You'll need to figure out which portals will get you through the Rings of Arcane Energy safely, as well as which portals will get you to where the boss is casting Double Technique, which requires 2 interrupts to be safely dealt with. Once Zoasmi goes down, you've beaten Streets of Wonder. But make sure to hit subscribe so you can catch our guide to the second half of Tazavesh, Solia's Gambit.